Good morning. It is October 27th, 2023, and today we're going to do something super fun. We did this last year, but what we're going to do is talk about planning for 2024. So I'm wrapping up a lot of my 2023 quilt projects, and we are in December going to have like a summary of everything I've done, everything that's kind of still in process, and the things that are going to carry over to 2024. So basically, we're going to talk about 2024. My planning is going to be a little bit different than it was in the past. And I have 25 quilts on my list so far, which I think I've finished about 31 this year. So that's about a good estimate. I try not to overdo it, even though I do overdo it. So, okay, so I have everything this year a little bit different. I'm going to put it in this beekeeper binder. We only have like 20 left or something like that. So when they're gone, I will order more, but it's the beekeeper binder by Lori Holt. And I already had it. So Lori has a new product. It is called Busy Bee Quilt Binder Pages. And that's what you're going to see that I've organized everything on. And I will go into detail about that in the What's New section. Well, I'm going to do this so I can show. So on the left, well, no, I'm right there. I'm going to show you what I'm doing, talk about it, and then show you the fabric and how I have it packaged. So I just got, I know you guys are going to ask about the tabs. I just bought these on Amazon, and Brittany just hand wrote the numbers. So my first project is the Petit Four Quilt Along, and we just started that. And you can see everything is in here. I just have it in an art bin. I have all my blocks, all my paper, all my fabric, and all my background. Now this background that's sold out, we just got in eyelet from Fig Tree Quilts, and 20407-21 is similar. So if you're still looking for a background, that will work. So that's how I have this one packaged. And this one, oh. I put it in the wrong spot. Okay, so the first thing, I did that. So the first thing is, and I just literally, these came in stock yesterday, so all of this was done in the last 24 hours. So with her new product, basically, what's it called, the quilt? Let's see, Busy Bee Quilt Binder Pages. So it has this summary, and then you have a list of whips and your quilt projects, and I'm numbering them in order of the tabs. And so the first one is Petit Four. It started in October of this year, but we're not going to end until April. So basically, I put it in my book because I've already started. I'm using Blueberry Delight. It's going to be 32 inches. I put all of the paper I'm using, the fabric I'm using, the background. I put everything here. And so you guys have already seen that. So that one will be probably the first one I finish up. Then number 2 in my book. And so on these pages, this page I'm going to put notes, and then this page has the details. And one thing I forgot to mention, the way I've organized this is, first I put ones that are still going. I kind of put the Scrappy first. Then I put the ones that start a little bit later. I kind of went in order of date so that as I'm done and I'll take the dividers out. And if they have patterns, they go in here, and you'll kind of see how I did this. And this will help me keep me organized. This one is my 4-inch log cabin Scrappy. And these are the blocks I've done so far. I've done 6, and I've shown a couple of them to you. But what I'm going to do there is, this is the 4-inch log cabin Scrappy. I started in September. I'm using the 4-inch finished foundation paper log cabin, and for number of blocks, I left that empty because I haven't decided. And here I put select backing and binding and finish the layout, because this one I'm just doing, I don't know how I'm going to finish it. And I'm using the 4-inch log cabin block foundation paper. What I'm doing on this one is if there's a collection that has 5 different colors, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I will make one of these blocks, and I'm just using the Log Cabin 4-inch paper because I love the 4-inch. And since I already started it, it's early in my book. And then on this side, you don't see a pattern because there isn't one. But what I will be doing, and I would have done it yesterday, except this just came yesterday. I'm going to, on this side, list all the collections I've used and number it, and that way I will know exactly where I'm at. So that's my second quilt. My third quilt is my 2024 Enchanted Star. So this one, Jordan's going to do a little pop-up, and this one is going to be the first time you have seen the free 2024 Scrappy pattern that Jocelyn designs every year. So this is how the block would look if you're using one collection. And the next is if you mix and match collections. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. This pattern will not release until December, but it will be completely free. So the Scrappy is called 2024 Enchanted Star. I'm going to start it in January. I want to end it in December. And there's a finish date for when you really finish, and then you can list your quilter here. So my fabric is going to be Scrappy, except I am going to use 20708-36, and I found that this year on this year's Scrappy quilt, it really helped. So it is going to use these 2 papers, I can tell you that, but I'm going to use the 20708-36, and the layout has 20 blocks, and each of the blocks are 14 by 21. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make 20 blocks. So when I'm done with 20, then I'll be done, and then I might make a second one. So it's going to be a free quilt pattern by Fat Quarter Shop. Each block is going to use one collection, scraps that are left over. I'm starting with 6 1/4 yards of background. Now, that's just the estimate. Some of these are just guesses. And then I'm using the square and a square paper and the flying geese paper. And here I put that I still need to select my backing and binding, and then once I put it over here, I can erase this later. And I didn't put the pattern in here just because it's not released yet. So the fourth one is Scrappy Strings. And this will be my third one. So right now I've been working on my second Scrappy Strings quilt. It's from the Scrappiness is Happiness. Do we have any of the blocks here? I don't think we have any. I'll just turn to the page. But this one I have not started yet. Here it is. So it is on page 84. So this, I'm going to make another one, and I think I'm going to just start auctioning them off because I have one already. So auction them off for charity. So I'm going to make my third one. And I'm going to do the same thing where I do 10 blocks by 10 blocks for 100 blocks, 8-inch finished. I am going to be using the sew-in interfacing the 10-inch squares. So what you do, you can either buy the interfacing and then cut them down into squares, or you can buy this, and then I usually cut it down into like 8, 8.5, and then trim it after my block is done. So I have been using these new sew-in interfacings by Lori. There is a tutorial on Lori's channel. It's called Sew Your Stash Series Number 3, 8-inch Scrappy Strings Block Tutorial. And so it uses the Scrappiness is Happiness book. I'm using one collection for each block. I'm using her 10-inch sew-in interfacing, and I'm using a Creative Grids ruler. And then here, what I will do is I will put all of the blocks I make as I make them, so then I can keep track of how many I've made. So the next one I just came up with, actually I think on Monday I made these. So I noticed that when I'm done, I have a lot of 2.5-inch squares left over. It just seems like I just have that. And so I thought, instead of putting them in my 2.5-inch square bucket, what I'm going to do is when I'm done with the collection, I'm going to cut 25 2.5-inch squares and just put them in a Scrappiness way, And I'm going to use darker colors. I'm not going to put very many backgrounds. I mean, there's one, but I'm going to put kind of the darker colors. And I started this October 21st, which was whatever day that was. I'll end it by the end of the year. Each block will be Scrappy. I don't know the quilt size. I don't know the number of blocks. I do know they're going to finish at 10 inches. And for now, I just put scraps for blocks. So I don't have a layout. I don't have sashing picked. I don't have binding picked. I don't have backing picked. But my goal is basically today, I will go and write in, you know, the name of these collections. This one is Shoreline, and this one's Mercantile. So this is Camille Ross Kelly, and this is Lori Holt. And I do have several other collections that I have a lot of 2.5 inch squares for that I will just go ahead and start doing this weekend. So that's my 5th quilt. So you can see the first ones are all my Scrappy quilts. And well, I'll talk about that in a little bit. My 6th quilt is going to be Moda Blockheads 5. So Moda Blockheads, they started round 5 this year, and you can see my blocks I'm currently doing with the Old Glory collection on our social media, but they're having a phase 2, which will be a larger quilt. The first part of the phase was a smaller quilt. So I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Flower Girl collection. This is a new designer for Moda called My So Quilting Life. So I have the Fat Quarter Bundle. That's what I'm going to start with. The patterns are going to be free on Moda's blog. Now, I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Bella Color 182 and I'm going to start with 5 yards. There really are no fabric requirements for Moda Blockheads, and there's really not a setting up front. So I'm just going to start with 5 yards. If I run out, I'll just cut more, and I'll probably just keep this bolt at home and just, you know, start with the 5 yards. And if I need more, then I've got the same die lot. For my binding, I'm going to use this skew. And for my backing, I'm going to use this skew. So that is what I'm planning to do with Moda Blockheads. And what I will do is when the blocks start coming out, I will draw them up in electric quilt. Moda hasn't said the size yet or anything, so I really don't know much more than what you guys know. I do know it's from January 3rd to July 31st. So I put that here. And obviously I will need to buy my binding and backing when it comes in the store, but that's how I picked it. Let's see, the tutorials you will find on Moda's blog, but you could just go to modafabrics.com/blockheads5. And basically I put on here that I need to print the patterns. And what I'll do is as I print them, I'll put them in here. And as I finish each one, I will put over here that I'm finished it. And then I will take the pattern out, because once this is already super thick. So I'll have to, you know, be cognizant of that. My 7th quilt I have planned is Paper Hearts B Dot. So this one we kind of talked about last week. So it's called Paper Hearts B Dots Quilt. This is the setting instructions. And this pattern is available right now free on Riley Blake website. You can find it at RileyBlakeFabrics.com. So this one I started October 9th. My goal is to finish it by October 25th of next year, because we're doing this as a quilt along where we make a certain number of blocks each week. So that's when it will end. I'm using the B Dots collection. I started with 2 10-inch stackers. The quilt finishes at 70 inches square. I am going to be using Lori's Heart paper, 2 packages. It makes 81 blocks, so 9 by 9. They're 7-inch finished, and these are the ones I've done so far. And you will need the Cute Cuts 7.5-inch trim it ruler from Lori to trim it down. So I'll show you the blocks I've done so far. Sorry. And when you make this, you basically cut 2 fabrics and you're making 2 blocks at one time, and I'll kind of explain that. And I'm just taking the layout that she has and making it exact. So this one right here is the inverse of this. So when you cut it, you cut 2 layer cakes, and 2 layer cakes gives you 2 blocks. And you can see you use one on the outside, one on the inside, one on the outside, one on the inside. And so I've done 2 rows so far. And I will be doing a tutorial in January 2024 on this channel on Lori Hart's new heart paper. And for the border, I picked 14170 pewter, which is this. Now, one thing that I do that is different is I cut anything that has a seam that's a border or a sashing. If it has a seam and I can get it length of fabric, I will do that. So I am ordering 2 yards of the 14170 pewter instead of less, because I do want I want that length of fabric. So I sometimes will have different fabric requirements here than you will see in patterns. And then so basically she says 2 B-dot stackers and then 5/8 yard of these fabrics, and those are listed on this pattern right here. 5/8 yard binding, 2 1/4 yards 108, the Cute Cuts trim it ruler, and then the only thing I forgot to list, which I'll put right now, I'm going to put this rickrack. So I wonder where the rickrack name is. I don't think they listed it in here, but I will add it later. So the vintage trim. Oh, here. Finish it with the Pebble large vintage trim. Okay, so I'm going to put that in here. Because I did forget to buy that. And then I'm going to put on here cut border LOF, which means length of fabric. And this one's really fun. I was a little bit concerned when I started it because it's very folk art-y and they don't come out exactly the same, but that's what Lori said, that's the way it's supposed to be. So if Lori says that's the way it's supposed to be, I'm going to go with it. So, and this one's fun and quick. I mean, I don't know, it may have taken like 1 or 2 hours to do 2 rows, super quick. And I love the idea of the paper. And on that one, kind of like as I go, I'll keep track of things here. And like I said, I didn't have time to do that because these just came. So my 8th project is Shine Together. So this is going to be a sew along that Riley Blake announced earlier this year. It starts January 12th, ends March 15th. There is going to be some more detail about these inner blocks that hasn't been released yet. So if you're going to start this, I would just leave these. My hint to you is to leave these. Don't make these inside blocks yet. So I am going to be using the Paparazzi collection. So I have a fat quarter bundle, and this is how they look all starched. And you can see how stiff they are. So that's what they called for, is that. And then the Hush Hush 3 collection. Fat quarter bundle. So this is how they are starched. So it's a ton of fabric. And then for binding, I did change my binding to be 805 powder. I wanted it to be a little bit lighter than theirs. And then for the backing, I am using 14063 Farmer, and this is a Lori Holt print from the Hush Hush collection. And it's starched and ready to go. Huge shout out to Teresa, who starches all my fabrics, because now I can just sew. Now, let's see. So the tutorials will be at RileyBlakeDesigns.com/free quilt pattern. That will be where it is on their website. I am going to omit the outside border, and I put that here and here. And because of that, mine's going to finish at 72 inches square instead of 80 inches square. So basically, mine is going to end mine's going to look like that. I just think that'll really pop. if I think it needs something, I would add a border out here that is scrappy, like maybe 4 different borders. But I think the cornerstones are a little too much. I think they take away from this. So that's the one change I'm going to make. So Hush Hush 3, Paparazzi, and then I used Paparazzi on the binding, and then the backing I used one of the Hush Hush 3. And this one I'm going to start, probably the way I will tackle this is I'll probably do all this stuff, the easy ones first, and get the big cuts out of the way, because once you get the big cuts, you'll have less fabric to work with and less fabric to mess with. And then I'll probably use the Eleanor Burns Flying Geese ruler to make the outside of these. And then I will wait to see their little secret that they have coming out with this Shine Together. And this is a completely free pattern, and I just bought it exactly the same. I'm just taking out the outside border and changing my binding. So the light, oh, Lori, click on Lori's comment. Lori says the light backgrounds are in the layer cake ? Okay, Lori, tell me which quilt you're talking about so I can answer. So this one, I'm using the Hush Hush 3 fat quarter bundle and the Paparazzi fat quarter bundle, and I think I'm going to have a ton of fabric left over. So that one, you know, I will have a ton of leftovers. Okay, this next one we talked about quite a while ago, but this is the Kona. This year they did a Kona calendar. It did sell out, but we do have more coming. This one's going to be called 2024 Kona Cotton Block of the Month Quilt, and this right here is available on Kona's website. This here is available on Robert Kaufman's website. There are 2 settings. There are 2. So there's the diagonal setting, the on-point setting, which I'm not going to use. So now I'm going to take it out because I just wanted to show you guys. I'm not using this one, but this is there. I'm going to show it to you in a second. That one measures 80 by 80. The traditional setting measures 60 by 76, and this is what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to kind of tell you what I'm doing. It's very confusing what I'm doing. I can just tell you right now. Sometimes I overcomplicate my life. That is one thing that Kevin and I are known for. We always overcomplicate everything, and I think that's how we ended up with Fat Quarter Shop. Is we just kept going. So this one I started this May 12th of this year, and I've made 2 blocks so far, and it uses the Kona Cotton Solids Charm Pack monthly set. Now, only 6 of the charm packs have come in stock so far. So the set should be available mid-November, hopefully. I'm going to use the Kona calendar, 1 yard of binding. I decided to go with a pink, and this is color 1225 of Kona. And then my backing, I'm using a 108 Kona, which I've never used before, and I went with K082-1005. And one of the things that I'm doing this year that I'm trying to change is I am making myself up front pick the binding, pick the backing, order everything so that I know if it's on here, I've ordered it, I have it, just be more organized. I just feel like I just need to stay organized. Okay, so let's talk about what's in here. This is a huge art bin bucket. So here's the calendar. And what I like about the calendar is when I open it, I can look at the block right here and see kind of how they did their block, because I'm changing mine. So I have challenged myself, and I don't even like to work with solids, so this is like kind of outside of my comfort zone. But I was inspired by it. So basically I have one of each of the charm packs that I got ahead of time, and Teresa starched them, and we put them in bags, and they're like, they say the month. So I have sewn with January and February, and in here is all of the rest of the months, and then I'll just put my backing and my binding here. Now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do before I hold up the quilts. And I can show you right here. Okay, so this is the January block, and they have the January block right here. When you look at their instructions for the January block, it tells you how to make this exactly this way. But I am going to challenge myself to use only the charm pack. So mine looks totally different because I have all of the colors from the charm pack in here and they use like one background. But I don't love to work with solids, but if I can mix and match solids and kind of make it my own, then I do like working with it, if that makes sense, because it's less boring. And you'll be able to find the instructions at robertkaufman.com/product/Kona Calendar 2024. And I am going to show you in a second how my block looks different than their block. So again, it's going to be 12 charm packs. I am saving my leftovers for the border. I decided to buy 1 yard of binding and 2.5 yards of the 108 backing, and I'm going to use the traditional setting. And I put all of that right here. Okay, so we're going to hold up. Now, like I said, there's a 60 by 76 traditional, and then the other one that is on point. There. Okay, so now you can really see the colors and see the scrappiness of the border, and then I'll show you the bottom. Now, these are not in the order of the charm packs. They're scrappy. So let me show you that. Okay, so what I wanted to show you is right here. This is how the instructions are written for January. But what I did, and I can put it right, these all finish at 16 inches, by the way. And you can see what they did is they called for a white background throughout. So what I did is I pulled my lighter charm packs pieces and put those as the white. And then, so you can just see the difference. And this has a lot more yellow in it than this because this one they didn't use any yellow. And the pattern does have instructions for, you know, each SKU. If you want to make it like this, they tell you exactly what SKU that is, And of course, they're Konas. And just keep putting your questions in. I'll get to them. So that's the difference. So this is traditional. This one is bigger and it's called On Point Setting. It finishes by 80 inches square and it's got the same border, but all of this is on point. So these right here are setting and corner squares. And in the center right here, there's just a big square on point. So that's the top. This is the bottom. And then I'll show it to you on the table. So you can see how it's on point. So this is a 16, these are 16-inch blocks. So basically it's a 16-inch block, 16-inch block, 16-inch square, 16-inch block on point. And then these pieces right here are your setting and corner squares. And then there is an inner border to separate the inside from the outside. The backing on this one is a bright blue. And this is designed by Elise at Robert Kaufman, who designs a lot of their things. And we'll just pull it so you can see it. And I'll actually put my block right on this block too, just so you can see it again. So you can see how mine is different. So I do challenge you, if you see something you like but you don't absolutely love it but you still want to do it, just figure out a way to make it work. Okay, is Kimberly going to give more details on how she used the charm packs and what color she used for the Kona? I'm going to show you the blocks. And then you can just kind of see. I'm not changing the instructions at all, if that makes sense. So I basically am just using using the instructions and converting it to charm packs, but Robert Kaufman would love for you to buy the Kona calendar to make the quilt. I'll just say that. So this is Kona, and I have done January and February. So I will show you in a future live stream the February. And the only thing, just looking at this, I will say is this might be a little busy for me. So, you know, that could change. But if it does, I will let you know, and then I'll just put notes in here on what I do. And I'm trying to do this so that I bring this to every live stream so that I remember what I did. Okay, so 10th quilt is going to be 2024 temperature quilt. Okay, so this is a tease. You cannot see it yet. You're going to see a little tease in a second. But first, I'm going to talk about it. This is going to be a free 2024 cottage temperature quilt pattern from Fat Quarter Shop. It will release in December. Jocelyn designs these for us every year. And I'm going to start January 1st and end December 31st. I am going to be using the Flower Girl collection again. So the same collection I'm going to use. So I can mix and match fabrics. Like if I starch this Fat Quarter bundle, basically I can use it on both quilts. The quilt that she designed this year is going to finish at 57 by 71. There are going to be 12 blocks, you know, for each month, 1 block for each month, and the blocks finish at 12 by 15. And it will be a free quilt pattern at Fat Quarter Shop in December. And okay, so what I'm using the Flower Girl Fat Quarter bundle by My So Quilty Life. I am using that same color 182, 9900-182. And then you need half a yard of a fabric for the houses and tree trunks. And you need so this is the houses and tree trunks, which is color 40. You need 5/8 of a yard of cocoa, which is color 180. My binding I picked for this one is peach, and my backing I picked is white. So this is what I'm going to do for this. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it, but basically by using the same collection, I buy the bundle once and then I just reorder as I need to. So this, you know, of course, I've overcomplicated everything. The way a temperature is supposed to work is this. You get a bundle from Fat Quarter Shop. It's called Moda Temperature 2023. We're going to change it to just Moda Temperature Fat Quarter Bundle. So it's got 20 pieces. But I don't, like I said, I don't want to do solids. So I'm going to show you some pop-up images. So this first one, Denise took the time to color it in the colors of how I'm going to do it, which is not the solids, it's the Flower Girl collection. So this is how my January will look if it's the same temperature as last year. It's lagging, so just give it a second. So there's basically what we're going to show you is how, oh, this is in solids, is what he said, sorry. Okay, yes, go, okay, so this is what mine will look like. The other one, that's how it will look like with the Moda bundle. This is how mine will look like with Flower Girl, and then there's one more image. No, there's not. Okay, so what about the image with the 20 pieces?
It's not a good one.
It's not good. Okay, it's not a professional. Okay, so basically what we did, and I will give more detail on that later in January, but basically we, right here, instead of using this, I did a range of these fabrics, and I basically did, we can just show it. We just did, oh my gosh. Turn it back on. Sorry, it's not my phone. So this is how we did it, is I just laid out, this is going to be my dark color all the way to light. So it's peach, light peach, dark green, light green, yellow, and brown. So that's how we're going to do mine, is just pull from that. So that's going to be temperature. And of course, I will put the pattern in here once it's written. It's not written yet. And there's basically, you saw it looks like a cottage. So you see 2024 cottage temperature. It's going to be 12 cottages and some trees. But more information to come out in December. It's not even written yet. Okay. Number 11. This, I have a funny story. It's really not funny though. It definitely wasn't funny last Friday when it happened. Okay, so the Vintage Sunburst Quilt Along Kit. This is a free pattern available at Fat Quarter Shop, designed by Lori Holt, and you can download this now. And here is the pattern. So because the pattern is done, it's in here. I'm gonna start it, I'm gonna start it January 13th and end it November 29th. It is gonna be a sew along, and it has 40 blocks. 20 of them are the 12-inch and 20 of them are the 8-inch. And it's gonna finish at 64 by 88. I'm using Mercantile, and basically I'm just copying exactly what Lori designed. So on this, I did a video on how to sew the Vintage Sunburst quilt block, so I'm going to follow that. That's on our YouTube channel. And so basically I'm using this free pattern. I'm using the Mercantile Fat Quarter Bundle. I'm using 4 yards each of different backgrounds. Now, this is a great example. This says 3 yards each. I make a lot of mistakes, and I don't want to have to worry about making it fit exactly, so I bought myself 4 yards each. And then my binding is the same, my backing is the same, and then you need 2 Vintage Sunburst 12-inch pads and 2 8-inch pads. So basically we put this together where if you buy the set, it's called Vintage Sunburst Quilt Along set. It's got the 2 8-inch, the 2 12-inch, and then we printed the pattern for you so that you wouldn't have to print it. So I'm going to show you, I was a little stressed out. You're going to hear that a little bit. Okay, so I had some visitors come into my house, and I was a little bit stressed out about it. So I was in a hurry because I had visitors coming, and I wanted to get done because I wasn't going to be able to work all weekend. So I did this in a hurry. Okay, let me tell you something. This needs to all be pressed open. This one's fine, actually. But this one is not. Look at that. It's like an inch. Like, there's no way I'm going to put that in a quilt. So I was just in a hurry because I had people coming over, and so I wanted to be done by the time they got there. I wasn't. So I'm going to redo these blocks because they're not as good as I would like them to be. Now, I might turn these into a pillow. I might put them on the back of the quilt, but I really think that I need to press open right here between the sections. And you can still do that with the paper and still make it work. So, but I did want to show you some tips. So those are my tips, is don't make the blocks in a hurry. But what I did is I took everything except the background, because I don't have the background cut. We don't have the background yet because we don't have the collection. So I get some sample yardage from Riley Blake, and this is my sample yardage. So I basically, when you're making the 12-inch, you use this size of a rectangle. And when you're making the 8-inch, you use this size of a rectangle. And then on the corners of the large, you use triangles. So I have cut everything except my background because I don't have the background. I had some background, but I don't have enough. So I will wait until I get my 4 yards of each when it comes in December, and I will cut that, and that will probably go in a different box. And I've already divided everything by color. So, well, not really by color, but by print. So each of these, I think they have 8 each. So everything's ready to go. And this one, I think you do maybe 2 of each size each month, but we will give information in later on that sew along. We're going to be hosting it for Lori, and it uses her foundation paper pads, which is really awesome. But yes, I was just, sometimes I'm just such a perfectionist. I should never try to do something fast to get it done. That doesn't work. It just doesn't come out right. And so I was really sad when I was done because I was like, I should have just not even tried to do it. I should have just waited. So that's number 11. Number 12 is going to be the same collection. It's called Mercantile Sampler Sew Along. So this one, the pattern is not available yet, but this is what it looks like. So we'll put the pattern in here when it's ready. But this one is going to use the Mercantile collection. I am buying the quilt kit from Fat Quarter Shop. I'm putting the same backing she suggests, and then I'm buying the 12-inch circle ruler to make this part. So you do need the 12-inch circle ruler to make this one. 12-inch, that's where it says 12-inch. And let's see, it's gonna start January 29th. It's gonna end at the end of the year. I'm buying the kit. It's gonna finish at 88 inches square. It's pieced and applique. There are 25 blocks, so 5 by 5 plus the border. And Lori is going to have tutorials on her YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Lori Holt. Her blog is beandmybonnetco.blogspot.com. And the other thing I will be using is the 14-inch sew-in interfacing. So that has not arrived yet, but I showed you the other size of interfacing earlier. That is 10 inches. She made the 14 inches specifically for this quilt. So I will be buying that when it comes in. And I don't think I'm going to make any changes to this at all. And you'll get to see it. And as she sews along, I'll sew along. So whatever, all the information will be right here on her blog and her YouTube channel. The next one is, this one I don't have much to show you, but it's the 2024 A Quilting Life Block of the Month. So every year for the last, long time, Sherry McConnell of A Quilting Life does a free pattern every month on her blog. Her blog is aquiltinglife.com. Her tutorials will be on YouTube /A Quilting Life. And now, I haven't seen any of this. I don't know the size of the blocks. I know that there will be 12 blocks because there's always been one per month. I don't know the size. I don't know anything else. But I decided, because it's Sherry and Chelsea, I'm going to use their brand new collection, Strawberry Lemonade, so I bought the Fat Quarter bundle. I'm going to start with 6 yards of the background from the collection. So this is what the background looks like. I'm trying to make the print show. Yeah, you can kind of see it. It's got little X's. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to start with 6 yards, meaning I will probably have a ton left over, but that's what I'm going to start with. And for binding, I'm going to use this skew. And for backing, oh, okay, so for backing, it's the cheater print. So and we don't have any sample yardage of that, but it's a 60-inch wide hexagon. So that's what I'm going to use for the backing. So I will basically, what I need to do for this is starch everything, and then that way in January I'm ready. And then as I make everything, like here I can put January through December, keep notes of what I finished. Okay, this one, Quilty Fun Row Along. So we announced this last week on this live stream that we are going to have a Quilty Fun Row Along. And we had originally thought we would have the fabric by December, but we won't. So we will have the fabric by February. So we're now going to start this in March of 2024 instead of January. So we have updated our website to be March. And basically, Fat Quarter Shop will be selling a Quilty Fun Row Along fabric kit. You do need the book, which is the very first book published by Lori Holt. And what she did is she colored this. She's going to be using 11 collections: B cross stitch, B basics, B dots, B plaids, calico, cookbook, hometown, mercantile, prairie, B vintage, and confetti cotton. And the very first video will come out will be the 4 patches video tutorial on Lori's YouTube channel. She actually already has one on YouTube, but she's going to do another one for this sew along. And this will be the first row. Let's see. This one has Scrappy binding, so you can kind of see the Scrappy binding right here. And for the backing, I have not picked, so I just put 5.5 yards backing, no skew, because I haven't decided on it yet. So this one has a slight change of plans. It will start in March, and it will start once the kits arrive. Basically, we have to cut them. The fabric will come because it's 11 collections and different shipments. Once it all comes, we'll cut it all up, and then you will get exactly what you need to make this exact kit. And you'll be able to see the blocks each time. I will make them, and that way you can see up close, you know, where Lori picked her fabric to go, because I'm going to just do exactly what Lori suggested. And that one's going to be 68 by 86. Okay, every year Riley Blake Designs does they call it the RBD Block Challenge. So they have released this on their blog and their website. So it starts January 9th, ends May 28th. So I know that. I know which date each designer's blocks are coming out. I haven't seen any of this, so I don't know how it's going to look. But I did make a decision. I'm going to use the Mercantile collection by Lori Holt. I already have a ton of it from the other quilts I just showed you. So I'm probably going to just pull from, like, because there's always extra fabric. I'm probably going to pull from that or start with a layer cake. I have not picked a background. You can see I haven't picked anything. Just start with the fat quarter bundle or layer cake. And it's going to be 16 blocks because it says 16 blocks. That's all I know, guys. I don't know anything else. Now they are showing you these two things. They are suggesting you sew it with either these solids or these batiks, and it gives you the fabric requirements. I'm just not doing that, so I'll take those out of my book. But if you want to do that, that gives you plenty of time to order what you need. And, you know, if you look at this, I'm really repeating what I did last year. You know, I did the Sherry McConnell last year. I did the Riley Blake Designs Challenge last year. I did the Temperature Quilt last year. I did all the Scrappy quilts last year. So it's not that hard to plan for the next year when I'm basically copying what I did the previous year and adding stuff, of course. My next quilt we can tease. It's going to be called Made with Love Quilt Along quilt. That's all you can see. It's going to be a free can I see the pencil real quick? Look at my spelling mistake. Free pattern from Fat Quarter Shop. Sorry, I didn't put the word in. I didn't put the letter in. Free pattern by Fat Quarter Shop. The pattern will be free only at Fat Quarter Shop, and there will be a kit. It's going to be called Made with Love Quilt Kit. It will include the binding and the backing. Now, all I can tell you from this is every year we give you a free pattern for Valentine's Day. So you don't have to buy the kit. You can just get the pattern for free and use your stash, or you can do the kit. Doesn't matter. I can tell you that we're going to use the All My Heart collection by Janet Wickerfrisch, Riley Blake. It's 17 by 32, 8 blocks that are 4 by 6, and free quilt pattern. And this pattern will be coming out and all the information in January. We will also have a cross stitch pattern. So more information to come on that. And if you have not subscribed to our Fat Quarter Shop Floss Tube channel, please subscribe there. That's where you find all the cross stitch. The next one is Millie's Dresses. So this is an older pattern of Lori Holt's that she republished under the It's So Emma brand. And basically, I'm going to sew this just exactly the way as Lori designed it. So it's using the Mercantile collection. It's 58 by 70. It's written by It's So Emma. There's 16 blocks that are 9 by 12. And we will, in January, have a Millie's Dresses block tutorial on our YouTube channel. And basically, I'm going to buy the Millie's Dresses quilt kit pattern. Millie's Dresses quilt kit pattern. It comes with the Scrappy binding, and the backing I'm going to use is one of her wide backs. And then basically in here I have my pattern already written. It's already in here, so I can't show it to you, but It's in here so that you know, so that basically the pattern's written. It's not live yet, but since it's written, it's in here. And so if I want to start it, once I get that fabric, I can. And Mercantile comes out in December. And you saw I had worked with some of it. I get a little bit of it in advance. The next quilt, number 18, is the Moonbeams 2024 Charity Quilt. It uses the Strawberry Lemonade collection from Sherry and Chelsea. The main difference is we had Moda special print this navy background for only Fat Quarter Shop. So that's the only place you'll be able to find it. This is going to raise money for Make-A-Wish, and I'll show you the bottom. We're pre-selling the kits now. This will ship in February, and then I'm going to show you the back. And this right here is that fabric I was talking about. That's going to go on the back of my 2024 Quilting Life. And this is the specialty piece backing we're selling. It is 68 by 80. There will be 7 pattern releases this year, and I'm just starting with the kit and the backing set. There will be live stream tutorials on our channel, so basically it will be the part of Sew With Me, and we will be raising money for Make-A-Wish. And the kit and the backing set are exclusive. If you buy the kit up front, you get all of the patterns so that you don't have to wait throughout the year. And if you buy the backing set, you get that backing pattern up front, whereas everyone else will have to wait until July. It does come packaged in an exclusive keepsake box. Box ships in February, designed by Jocelyn. That quilt was pieced by Teresa and quilted by Joanna Marsh. It is intermediate to experience level. And like I said, that navy background is a custom fabric. It will be available as yardage, but it will not come in the pre-cut since it was only made for us. And a lot of you will ask, when are we gonna have fabric requirements if you're not buying the kit? Once we raise $20,000, we will release the fabric requirements to everybody. The Sew Along is from March to September of 2024. Okay, number 19, we kind of talked about. This is the brand new Celebrate with Quilts book by Lisa Alexander and Susan Aki. It is amazing. And if you've gotten your book, oh my gosh, smell the paper. The paper smells so good. So on the cover is a sampler quilt. So this is going to start in March. It's going to end in February of 2025. I'm going to use the Shoreline collection by Camille. It's 72 by 91. There are 63 blocks of various sizes. You'll just follow the book. And so basically you need the book. I am starting with a Shoreline Fat Quarter bundle. And this is what my Fat Quarter bundles look like when Teresa starches them. So she starches them and then folds them back together. Now I'm starting with that, plus you'll see some Bella Solids. So color 20, 101, 207, and 429 are also used in the coloring because Sarah did the coloring for me. For the background, I'm going to start with 6 yards of, this is the background from Shoreline. For my outer border, now here it says 1 7/8 yards. I'm buying 2.5. That's because I'm going to do length of fabric. So you can download this right here, right now at Fat Quarter Shop, and it tells you exactly what you need. But here I'm putting my changes. My binding, I'm doing a yard of this, and my backing, I'm going to do this big floral. And I am going to get the Piece and Quilt Sampler Foundation Paper Notion Set. I'm actually not going to get it because I have all of this at home, but we put this together because a lot of you who, we do, if you want it, this is all the paper you would need if you want to use that. And yeah, So that's what I'm going to be doing there. It's going to be, and so that's going to start in March. Now, of course, this is waiting on this shoreline fabric to come out. If the shoreline fabric doesn't come out, we'll either delay it or start it and then just play catch up. But all your fabric requirements for this are now available at Fat Quarter Shop. And this is the monthly breakdown, which this is great to put in your book, because then as you make, it tells you exactly how many blocks you make, the name of the block, the page it's on, and the month we're doing it. So if you have your fabric and you're ready to go, this is what you need. There's also a coloring sheet available. I don't use this, so I'm going to take that out. And then this is so I can see the fabric up close. This one I'm really excited about. This is one that, like, this is the kind of quilt. A lot of you guys ask, what do you love? I love this kind of quilt because it's just all kinds of blocks. It's all mix and match. It's all just everywhere. And I love it. I love, like, I also love hard. I like to do something challenging. I don't want to just do really easy stuff. And of course, just keep asking your questions. I am going to answer all of them. We're getting to the end. Okay, my 20th quilt is going to be Strawberry Garden Block of the Month. So we are publishing this pattern for Joanna Figueroa of Fig Tree Quilts under the It's So Emma, and this is how the books look when we're in process. So the book has other quilts in it. We will have a trunk show of these. There's no photos taken yet, but this is just draft form. So more information to come on the book. It will have all kinds of beautiful photos. I'm going to show you some photos in a second, but let me tell you what this is going to be. So this is Joanna Figueroa of Fig Tree Quilts. I'm going to show you a picture of her real quick. This is taking you back old school. This is Joanna and her husband and me and Kevin. I cannot believe that Kevin let me take that picture. Oh my gosh. I remember that dress, and that dress does not fit anymore. But Joanna posted that the other day, so I don't know how many years ago that was. That's hilarious. So I am basically going to sign up for the sample for the book was made by Teresa, and all of those photos will be in the book. But what I decided to do is I'm going to sign up for the block of the month. So when you get your package, I'll get my package. I'll sew it and then just show it as it ships. And of course, these do sell out. Once they sell out, I can't add more. This one does use 4 collections. It uses the Jelly and Jam collection, the Eyelet collection, which I'm going to show you in a second in the What's New section, the Linen Cupboard, which is I'm also going to show you in the What's New section, and then Honey Bloom. There's just like 2 fabrics from 3 sisters in here, and Joanna colored all of this, and I'm going to make it exactly like she is. It finishes at 60 by 70. There are 82 blocks, various sizes, and it's definitely intermediate to advanced. And this is one of the quilts that she offered on her website as a block of the month a couple years ago. So you might have already made it. You know, you might have already made this one, but I didn't, so I'm going to make it. Oh, I have photos. Jordan has photos, sorry. Okay, so there's the quilt up close. And then these are just some different pictures that Sarah has started for the photo shoot. We haven't done the photo shoot yet, so these were all done at her house, I'm sure. And these are some of the blocks. So these are the actual fabrics that are going to be used, and Teresa pieced all of these. So they look really nice. And that one, oh my gosh, that looks so hard. Okay. The next one is going to be the Quilted Scarecrow. We talked about this last week. The fabric is going to ship in like March, so we decided we're going to start it May 1st. It's using the Autumn collection by Lori Holt of Riley Blake Designs. The quilt is 80 by 85. It's entirely pieced. A ton of blocks. I didn't write that down yet. But basically, I'm going to buy the book. I'm going to buy the quilt kit. The quilt kit actually already includes the pattern. And then I'm going to buy the 108 backing set. And this right here is the back of the pattern. The pattern is not fully done yet, but this is the fabric requirements. And so I'll put the pattern in here once it's available. And we'll talk to Lori, and Lori will usually be the one to decide like what order we go in, how long we make it. But so that's why there's no ending date. So I don't have anything to show you of that because I don't have it yet. And so you can see at the end, these are all things in the future, future. The next one that I picked is the 2024 Designer Mystery Block of the Month. And this one's going to be totally different. You know, every year I want to change it up. So this year I did the 2023 Designer Mystery where I made 3 different sizes. I did all kinds of fun stuff with it. I'm not going to do that in 2024. The design for 2024 does not lend itself to that at all. So next year I'm not doing that. And I'm going to sign up. I'm signing up for the block of the month at Fat Quarter Shop. And then when I get my block, I'll make it. This is block 1 and it's just a tease. This is going to be inset into another thing. A house, basically. I don't want to give away too much, but this is block 1. It's for confident beginners. And the collection is My Summer House by Bunny Hill Designs. It will finish at 82 by 92. All the blocks will be 12 inches finished. And that one was block 1. The next one is the Quilted Snowman. So this one's going to be Hometown Holiday by Lori that ships in the summer. So we won't start this until August. It finishes at 87 by 97. And basically I'm going to buy the quilt kit. The quilt kit includes the pattern and I'm going to buy the backing set. So it makes it easy when I can just do that. And then here's the fabric requirements that we've done. Number 24 is Hometown Holiday Sampler Quilt. This one we are definitely doing as a quilt along. This one will have a cross stitch to go with it. More information on the cross stitch will not come out for months and months and months. It might even be the next year. It might not come out at the same time. We're gonna start this one in August also, and I'm thinking we'll probably do it like a row a week. This one is definitely more intense in terms of cutting, but the piecing is super simple. It's just going to be more intensive when you're cutting and labeling with your alphabetties. This one's big. It's 93 by 98. So if you have a queen size bed, this would fit, I think. And if you have a king, you could always make, you know, add a extra border. This one, I'm just doing the same thing. I'm buying the quilt kit. It includes the pattern, and I'm buying the backing set. And then my last one, we have not even really talked about. There's no, you see, there's no pattern. There's no photo, there's no nothing. Lori is gonna take the Vintage Christmas book that she published years ago. She's gonna take the Hometown Holiday collection that comes out this summer. She's gonna color every single block with Sarah. And we're going to have a sew along. So we don't have any kind of kits planned yet or anything like that because she hasn't colored anything. So if it's done in time for us to order the kits, we will have kits. If it's not, we will just have yardage. But for now, what I wrote is you need the book, and I just put Hometown Holiday Fat Quarter Bundle just for now. More details in 2024. There is a ton of stuff open on this. So there's that. And then what I'm going to do, my plan for this is, because it's really thick, as I add, you know, I will keep everything in this binder, and then if I start 33, I'll have to have another binder. But let's say I finish this section. Let's say that I finish the Enchanted Star. I'm gonna pull out this sheet and this pink thing and just take everything out. Take the pattern out, take everything out, if that makes sense. And then it'll just get skinnier and skinnier. And this one is the Beekeeper binder. It's 3 inches, so it's pretty big. And then you have to kind of do like this to make it flat, like that. So I would say you have to kind of make sure you keep it nice. Hi, Lori. So Lori texted me and asked if I got this done. I was like, oh, you have to watch. Okay, there are some items that made my maybe list. So I did want to show those. Now this means I have not committed. The Monster Mash I got so many emails for this. I swear, I must have got 100 emails. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but I got so many emails when Layla Boutique, Vanessa Gertzen put this on her blog and social media. We are going to have a quilt kit with this. I think it's really cute. I just don't decorate with Halloween, but it's on my maybe list. And if this one, anything you need to know, is on Layla Boutique's blog. We will have a quilt kit. The next one is by Corey Yoder. This one is going to be, it's the Starberry Christmas Collection by Corey Yoder and Moda. It's called the Cuddle Up Sampler. All the information on this is on Corey Yoder's blog, Instagram, but I have not committed. It's really cute though. So this is on my list. And then another one that's on my list is Flower Stand. We are offering this block of the month at Fat Quarter Shop, and I haven't signed up for it yet, but if I do, I will let you guys know and sew along with you guys. I'm kind of leery, like right here, you'd have to write all this out, and that scares me to bejesus. So I'd have to put another block in there or something. Okay, so now I'm going to answer questions before we move on to the next part. So let's go to the questions. Okay, Kara asks, what is the best way to find all the block of months and sew-alongs? The Jolly Jabber blog. So we actually posted a blog post yesterday with everything that's in this book. Now, there might be a couple things I added last minute. That's the way I do things. And then, so if it's not on the blog, it's my fault because I just add things and change things. And I change my mind quite a lot. When will Lori Holt's new 5-inch scissors arrive? On our site, it says October, but since it's October 27th, I would assume November. Gourmet Law asks, love your log cabin blocks. Did you use electric quilt to help you with colors before cutting and sewing? I absolutely did. So I actually colored it. After I make the blocks, I'm saving it so that I can actually have the block exactly as I sewed it so that I can figure out a layout. And I did use electric quilt because if it doesn't look good, I don't want to sew it. Now, I might make changes when I start sewing, but in general, it will help me know if I want to do the block. Okay, so Lori wants to know, not Lori Holt, but another lady, Lori Holt Heart Quilt. She wants to know if the backgrounds are separate in the heart quilt. So I need to look that up. Number 7. Yes, the backgrounds are separate. So, and if you look right here, when you open this, right here, it lists all the 5/8. These are all backgrounds you need, and they're listed by SKU. Gwenna Dottie asks, are the needles all the same size in the tube binding nifty needles? Yes. Can we use triangle paper for temperature quilt? Yes. But we haven't even written the pattern, so I can't even tell you the triangle paper. Like, we literally just designed it in time for this live stream. So yes, you can use paper, and yes, I will give you information on what paper when we load it and when we get, and I'll add it to my book too, but we haven't even written the pattern. Jewel Soren asks, would Camille Ross Kelly's Sunnyside be good for temperature quilt? Absolutely. And this year I used her collection, The Good Life. The only thing I would say is it's really only two or three blues and a green, so it might not work just because it's only 3 colors, but it would still look really pretty. One Fine Day. I don't know what I said. What I said? The Good Life. I don't know. Yeah, sorry. I used One Fine Day, but it did have like red, orange, yellow, green. So I think it would still look pretty though. The quilt, okay, so everything in here will either be a free pattern or a standalone pattern. The Quilted Snowman and the Quilted Witch and the Quilted Scarecrow, those are all separate standalone patterns if you don't want to buy the kit. Okay, so that looks like all the questions. Now I'm going to show you this quilt. So we are joining forces with Moda Fabrics and Aurifil, and they are hosting the Stitch Pink campaign this year. It's a cause close to our hearts, raising awareness for breast cancer and showing our support for all those who are facing it. We are raising funds again this year for the National Breast Cancer Foundation for the important work they do. we are going to donate $5,000. So far, we have raised $2,750. So please help us get to our goal of $5,000. Ashley will put a link to that charity donation page in there. And the challenge from Moda was to make a project using one charm pack of Lighthearted by Camille Ross Kelly. Also to use Aurifil thread to sew the quilt and quilt it. And the result of ours was we made this cute mini quilt. Kate is, she put this out there, so that's why I'm saying it. She actually has breast cancer, and she put her story on social media, and she made this quilt with the 4-inch Sparkle Star quilt block paper by Lori Holt, and it really is a great for that charm pack because it finishes at 4.5 unfinished, so it uses that whole charm pack, and if you're starching, it's perfect. So thank you to Kate for making this, and let's see how many blocks it has. 42. So she used the entire charm pack, and then she just used a Bella on the outside, and all the information on this is on our blog, and you can also check out Moda's blog and Aurifil's blog for some of the quilts that other people made. And she did put a sleeve. Oh no, no, it's not a sleeve, it's just a pieced backing. Okay, the next thing I wanted to show you okay, we've never offered a Batik block of the month at Fat Quarter Shop before. And I saw this one, and you guys really liked the Batik video that Jocelyn designed with the night and day. Y'all really liked that pattern. We got a lot of positive reviews. So I saw this from a sales rep last week. It's called Hey Violet. That's the name of the collection. So we bought the collection, and it's the first time we're ever offering a Batik block of the month. So you can sign up for this at Fat Quarter Shop. Of course, we will put our, we'll do it just like our other block of the months, where we put a cover sheet, we put what you need in there, and then I picked a backing set from one of these. I think it's one of these, but this is the fabric. I just wanted to show you the actual fabric, and then this will make all of you happy that like purple. So this is the actual fabric. So I just wanted to show it to you and show you that we are stepping outside the box. I mean, hopefully it does well, because if it does well, we can add more Batik block of the months. So just something different. Okay, it's 85 by 64. Sorry. The collection is called Violet Crush. It's by Wilmington Prints. And so it's 64 by 85. It's 7 months, and it runs from July 2024 to January 2025. Okay, next week will be pre-recorded live stream, November 3rd. And it's because I have a kid conflict, but I wanted to let you know, do not cut along with me. There is a major mistake in the video. Now, I catch it in the video. In fact, I don't catch it, Denise catches it. So, do not cut along with me. Now, Jordan did put a little note that says do not cut or whatever, but just watch and you'll see my mistake. But this is what I made on camera Monday for the Petit Four Sew Along, which is actually the first one in here. So, just heads up, I had a weird mishap. Okay, Quilt Market is this weekend in Houston, and you can follow Fat Quarter Shop on Instagram and Facebook to see all the updates, all the booths, all the sample spree, all the schoolhouse, all the things. And we will have some Fat Quarter Bundle giveaways on our blog, and you can enter to win, so you will want to check out our blog. Make sure you're subscribed to our Fat Quarter Shop newsletter and our Jolly Jabber blog for all of that. Okay, now I'm going to show you what's new. So, like I showed you before, I showed you the Busy Bee quilt pages. Oh, okay, sorry, we have 2 yarns. Okay, so this is the papers I used, and I did forget to show you, but on the very last page, it has, can I show that? Sorry, I forgot to show that last page, and I don't want to open this. The very last page has Sew Along friends. So you could list people you watch, you know, their YouTube channel, Instagram. That's on the very back. I forgot to show you that. So that, the papers, those papers are these. Lori also came out with stitch binder pages. This is for cross stitch. I have not even opened a package yet because they literally arrived yesterday. So I will show these and demo these on the Fat Quarter Shop Floss Tube channel. Now, if you are a crochet or knitter, she now has yarn binder pages. So those are the pages that, you know, you would basically replenish. She did a planner or calendar with Riley Blake this year. And so that is called the 2024 Sew and Stitch Calendar. This will be in stock in about a week. It's not here yet. We got a prototype. So you have to put it in order, but it is, I'm going to flip through it, but it is a planner calendar. And it fits in the hometown binder, which we sold out of. We will not have more until December. So she does have a planner. It's 3-ring, it goes in binders. And so a lot of you already have her binders. And then when you get to the end, like after you get past December, this is where she wants you to put your quilt pages, your stitch pages, your yarn pages in these tabs right here. Now, I'm not going to do that just because mine are going to be too big. You saw that binder. My binder's already full. But that's because in my binder, I'm putting the pattern and the pictures and all the things. So you have to just kind of see how you want to do this. And so this is a 2024 Sew and Stitch planner. It's called calendar, but it's basically a planner. So that's one product. This is another product, the binder. And then these are the insert pages. So hopefully today I've shown you a good use of how you use them. And I am going to now show you what came in the store this week. And we won't be able to do this for a while because I'm going to be out next week. But this is the brand new linen cupboard collection by Big Tree Quilts. This is in the Strawberry Garden block of the month. I showed you. This is the scissors. It's basically the white on white scissors. So this is a low volume group. And some of these are some older prints that she's reprinting. Some of them are the same color and some are recolored. And some are just new. So this is available in pre-cuts, yardage, and half-yard bundles. So linen covered Fig Tree Quilts. Also from Fig Tree is Eyelet. So this is also used in that Strawberry Garden block of the month. So these are the range of the backgrounds, and this is the one that I was telling you would work with the Petit Four Sew Along. And so same thing, yardage, pre-cuts, all the things. Layla Boutique, the pre-cuts for Love Struck have arrived. Yardage has not arrived yet, but it's going to be in time for you to make a Valentine quilt. And this one, the quilt that Kate made for Stitch Pink would look really good in a charm pack of this. So that would be a really good idea. Sweet and Plenty is a bright collection with some grays and blacks by Me and My Sister Designs. They traditionally don't put the black and the gray, so this one's a little bit different than the others. And this is now in stock. This one is called Fruit Loop, and this is basic gray. So it's, I'm going to kind of flip through it. It's got what's called Fruit Loop. So it's got fruit. Lemons, pears, and this is a pretty floral. And this one is, the designer is Basic Gray, Moda Fabrics. We have a new collection by Kansas Tribbles Quilters. I think it's 40 pieces. It's called Fluttering Leaves, and it's very reminiscent of her original colorways that she has done over the years. She's been designing with them longer than we've been in business, so she's been around like 25 years or so designing fabric. Really pretty. People always say, oh, I need fabric for a man quilt. This is great. Somebody in this room is going to fall. I'm not going to say her name. Alphabet Zoo by Danny Mogstad for Riley Blake Designs. This one I'm going to actually show you because it's got some really cute prints. Like, I just love the animals. This would be great for, look how cute that is. So that is Alphabet Zoo by Riley Blake Designs, Danny Mogstad. Flower Farm by Kira Job Designs for Riley Blake Designs. So lots of brights, lots of florals. So that's like butterflies and flowers combined. Ginghams, leaves. It's a really cute print. Really bright colors. Okay, you guys have been waiting for besties. The pre-cuts of Tula Pink's besties. These three are in stock. The fat quarter bundles, half yard bundles, 1 yard bundles, and yardage will be online next week. So everything comes to us in different shipments. So we happen to get these first, but everything will be online next week. And there is some metallic this time. So you can really see it. You can really see that metallic. And just an FYI, we just saw our sales rep yesterday, and her next collection that we're buying for 2024 is called Roar, and it's dinosaurs. And all that will be going on the Coming Soon page today. So we have these three in stock. The rest will be coming early next week. This is Island Batiks called English Lavender, and blues, aquas, purples. Definitely purple. I'm seeing a lot of purple lately. Now this one's my favorite from today. This one's called Wild One Flannel, and I have to show it to you because it is so cute. So I happen to love flannels. I don't ever work with them or ever, and I think it's just because I don't ever have a, like I don't ever have a, I don't know, I just don't, but this is so cute. So it's got elephants, and then look how cute this is. So cute. Giraffes, stars. And then this is gray. This is kind of like in between these two colors. So cute. And those are koalas. They're so cute. And then I didn't even know this arrived. So this is Picnic by Tanya Whelan, and I am gonna actually take this home. I love her fabric, and every time I don't buy it and then it sells out and I get so upset. So she was a Free Spirit designer for years and years and years. And now she's on her own doing her florals and her classic colors. And These are like Kimberly colors all over. I love this. And these pinks are a little bit brighter than she's done in the past. But this is one where I'll buy and then maybe I'll do something with it in the future. I don't have anything on my list right now, so I don't have anything planned for it yet. But, I mean, who can go wrong with cherries, dots, and stripes? So cute. And I have always loved her florals because she just does a really good job with the intricacy and then the spacing and the adding the white space so that it can kind of stand alone and it's not just like all on top of each other. Another batik collection we got, Butterflies and Blooms? No. Oh, Adore, Anthology Fabrics. I can't read. So Anthology is a division of Wilmington. And so this is called Adore, and it's batiks. Lots of color ranges. I would not starch the flannel, which might be why I don't use it, but yeah, you don't starch flannel. And then this is the Henry Glass Gale Pan Butterflies and Blooms, and I think she's from Australia, and she does really pretty, very small scale line drawing type fabrics. And what I like about her stuff is she changes the feel, the theme, and the colors each time. So they're similar, but different, if that makes any sense. Kimberly's favorite color, not purple, but there are many coming. I know, my favorite colors are aqua and pink. Okay, so Laundry Basket Quilts, now she's making kitchen towels. So we got a shipment of them, and I'm just gonna lay them out. They are microfiber, so they're actually great for if you're in your car and you need to clean your car down. So this is my favorite, the spool. And then she has some that are terry cloth. We haven't received that shipment yet, so I'm hoping we receive that shipment. This one, I want to open it. So when you open it, this side is microfiber. And so is this side, and this side is just white. And they're all the same size. Now, one thing that we did this week is all of our foundation paper, we have 3 sizes now. And so we had a customer ask, why are we not packaging them together? So we did. So we did the Snail Trail, it's got all 3. The Pineapple, all 3. The Log Cabin, all 3. Courthouse Steps, all 3. Lori's Economy Blocks, all 3. And her Sparkle Star, all 3. Let's see, so I'm going to answer a couple more questions that have come in. And just remember, next week I won't be live, and just don't cut. Don't pay any attention to the first 20 minutes because I don't know what I was doing. I thought we could have to re-record. I was going to like play it off and like re-record, but we didn't have any fabric to re-record with, so we just had to make it work. Okay, Chris with Minnie says, I can't find info on the Coriander Christmas quilt. Any tips on where to look? Okay. Go to Coriander Quilts, C-O-R-I-A-N-D-E-R Quilts. She has a website and she has Instagram, and she probably hasn't released all the information, but I know she has released a photo because I saw it on there. What brand is the thicker solid white fabric? I would say probably Kona. And then Leslie Quilts, she says, Kimberly, everyone has loved your true crime episode, so we may have to do that again to talk about the Vandersloot confession soon. Oh my gosh, so there's a little story behind that. I actually went to When I went to CrimeCon a couple years ago, I actually saw her mother speak, and she alluded to the fact of everything that's happening now because she was working with the FBI to get him to America and get him to do this. So she kind of alluded, and so that was really kind of interesting. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to give away to 3 winners 3 of these. So 3 people will get 1 of each. Sorry. So you will get the quilt, stitch, and yarn binder, and you will get the beekeeper binder. So you get 4 things, 3 people get it. But what I want you to comment is let me know, out of everything I showed you for 2024, what's your favorite that I'm going to be doing? Or what are you looking forward to most seeing me sew? And then is there anything that you're going to also sew along with me? Because, you know, I always love when you guys sew along with me. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you guys soon.